Jake Harrison stood on the command deck of Kepler Station and watched the stars through the large window. The space station was huge, bigger than any city on Earth. 50,000 people lived here, working and building a new life among the stars. This was humanity's first real home beyond Earth's solar system. "Commander Harrison, the alien ships are getting closer," said Lieutenant Amy Foster from her control station. She looked worried as she stared at her screen. Jake walked over to see the readings. 3 large ships moved toward them through space. They were bigger than anything humans had ever built. The ships looked strange, with dark metal that seemed to bend light around it. "Any word from Captain Beck's fleet?" Jake asked. "They're in position, sir. But Captain Beck says something feels wrong about this," Amy replied. Jake nodded. He felt it too. The aliens had sent a message 3 days ago, saying they wanted to talk about peace. They called themselves the Galactic Confederation, but their ships looked ready for war, not peace. Down in the science labs, Dr. Lisa Morgan was working on her latest discovery. She had found something amazing in the ruins on the nearby planet. Ancient alien technology that could change everything for humans. The energy readings were unlike anything they had seen before. "Lisa, you need to see this," said her assistant, Dr. Ben Parker. He pointed at his computer screen. "The energy patterns are getting stronger. It's like the technology is waking up." Lisa looked at the data. The alien artifacts were responding to something. But what? She had been studying them for months, and they had never done this before. "Back up all our research," she told Ben. "Send copies to Earth right now. I have a bad feeling about those ships outside." On the bridge of the human defense ship Defender, Captain Ryan Beck watched the alien vessels through his telescope. His ships were small compared to the aliens, but they were fast and well-armed. At least he hoped they were well-armed enough. "Sir, the aliens are asking to come aboard the station," said his communications officer. "Tell them to wait," Ryan said. "Something about this doesn't feel right." The alien ships had arrived exactly when they said they would. They looked peaceful enough, with no weapons showing. But Ryan had been a soldier for 20 years. He knew when someone was preparing for a fight. Back on Kepler Station, Jake got ready to meet the alien ambassador. The creature that came aboard looked like a giant lizard walking on 2 legs. Its skin was green and covered in scales. Yellow eyes stared at Jake without blinking. "I am Ambassador Zethkul of the Vorthak Empire," the alien said. Its voice was deep and cold. "We represent the Galactic Confederation. We have come to offer your species a place in our great alliance." Jake tried to stay calm. "We're honored by your offer. What would this alliance mean for humanity?" The alien's mouth opened, showing sharp teeth. "Your people would serve the Confederation. You would mine valuable materials on dangerous worlds. In return, we would protect you from other threats in the galaxy." "That sounds more like slavery than alliance," Jake said. The alien's eyes grew darker. "You misunderstand. This is not a request. This is an order. Your species will join the Confederation, or you will be removed from the galaxy." At that moment, alarms started ringing throughout the station. Amy Foster's voice came over the speakers. "All hands to battle stations. The alien ships are powering up weapons." Jake looked at the ambassador. "I thought you came in peace." "Peace is when you do what we say," Zethkul replied. "Your answer, human?" "No," Jake said firmly. "Humans don't bow to anyone." The alien made a sound like angry hissing. "Then you have chosen death." Outside, Captain Beck saw the alien ships suddenly change. Weapon ports opened along their sides. Energy began building up in strange patterns along their hulls. "All ships prepare for combat," Beck ordered. "Protect the station at all costs." The first alien weapon fired. A beam of red energy hit one of Beck's ships and cut it in half like a hot knife through butter. The explosion lit up space like a new star. "Return fire," Beck shouted. Human weapons hit the alien ships but did almost nothing. The aliens had shields that stopped the attacks. More red beams reached out from the alien vessels. One by one, Beck's ships exploded. On Kepler Station, people ran through the halls as the aliens began shooting at them too. Jake rushed to the command center where Lisa was sending her research data to Earth. "The transmission is almost complete," she said, working fast at her computer. "If we can get this information back home, maybe they can figure out how to use it." The station shook as alien weapons hit it. Lights went out and came back on. In the distance, they could hear explosions. "Evacuation ships are ready," Amy reported. "But the aliens are destroying everything that moves." Jake had to make the hardest choice of his life. "Begin evacuation, save as many people as we can." Lisa finished sending her data just as the aliens broke through the station's shields. "It's done," she said. "Earth has everything we learned." The next few hours were chaos. Small human ships tried to escape while alien fighters hunted them down. Many didn't make it. Jake watched through a window as the aliens landed soldiers on the station. They were killing everyone they found. "Commander, we have to go now," Amy said, pulling him toward an escape ship. Jake took one last look at his home among the stars. Kepler Station was dying. Fires burned throughout its corridors. The aliens were destroying everything humans had built here. The escape ship pulled away from the station just as it exploded. Jake and the other survivors watched their home turn into scattered pieces of metal floating in space. "Sir, we're getting reports from the planetary colonies," the pilot said. "The aliens are attacking them too. They're killing everyone." Jake closed his eyes. 50,000 people had lived on Kepler Station. Hundreds of thousands more lived on the planets nearby. How many were dead now? "Set course for Earth," he ordered. "We need to warn them what's coming." As their small ship jumped into hyperspace, Jake looked back one more time. The alien fleet was growing larger with more ships arriving every hour. They weren't just attacking Kepler Station. They were preparing for something much bigger. "The galaxy will pay for this," Jake whispered. He didn't know how, but somehow humanity would make them pay. The news from Kepler Station hit Earth like a bomb. President Helen Carter stood before the Global Defense Council, her face grim as she read the reports. The room was silent except for the sound of her voice. 50,000 dead at Kepler Station," she said. "Another 200,000 killed in the planetary colonies. The aliens gave us no warning. They just started shooting." General Peter Stone looked at the military reports spread across his desk. The numbers were bad. Very bad. Earth's space fleet was strong compared to other human forces, but nothing compared to what had destroyed Captain Beck's ships. "Our weapons barely scratched their hulls," Stone said. "Their energy shield stopped everything we threw at them. We're fighting with rocks against lightning." Dr. Lisa Morgan sat in a secure room deep underground, surrounded by computer screens and alien artifacts. She had made it back to Earth with the research data from Kepler Station. Now she had to figure out how to turn that knowledge into something useful. "The energy patterns are incredible," she told Dr. Alex Turner, Earth's top physicist. "This technology doesn't just use power. It bends space and time itself." Alex looked at the readings and shook his head. "This is centuries ahead of anything we understand. Maybe thousands of years ahead. Then we better learn fast," said Katie Walsh, the engineer working with them, "because those alien ships will be here soon." She was right. 3 days later, the alien fleet appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system. Hundreds of ships, all bigger and more powerful than anything humans had ever built. They moved in perfect formation, like a pack of hunting wolves. War Master Grex Thor commanded the alien fleet from his massive battleship. He was even bigger than Ambassador Zethkul, with scars covering his green scales. His yellow eyes looked at Earth through the ship's main screen. "Send the message," he ordered his communications officer. The message reached Earth within minutes. President Carter listened to the alien's words in the White House Situation Room, surrounded by her military leaders. "People of Earth," the alien voice said, "I am War Master Grex Thor. Your colony at Kepler chose death over service. Now you will choose. Surrender completely or watch your species burn." The room erupted in angry voices. Some wanted to fight. Others thought Earth should try to negotiate, but Carter already knew what she would say. Send our answer, she told the communications officer. Tell them that humans don't surrender to bullies. The alien response came in the form of weapons, fire. Red beams reached out from the fleet and struck Mars first. The human colonies there tried to fight back, but their weapons were useless. Within hours, every human settlement on Mars was gone. Admiral Steve Collins led Earth's defense fleet out to meet the aliens. His ships were the best humanity had built, armed with nuclear weapons and energy cannons. He knew they probably couldn't win, but they had to try. All ships, attack formation, Collins ordered. Make them pay for every inch. The space battle was fierce but short. Human ships moved fast and fought hard, but the alien shields were too strong. For every alien ship, damaged 10 human vessels were destroyed. Collins watched his fleet disappear around him. Fall back to Earth, he finally ordered. Save what ships we can. The aliens didn't chase them. They didn't need to. They had made their point. Instead, they spread out through the solar system and began destroying everything humans had built. The colonies on Europa and Titan were bombed into dust. Space stations exploded one by one. On Earth, people watched the destruction on their television screens. The aliens were taking their time, making sure everyone could see what was happening. They wanted Earth to be afraid. Dr. Morgan worked day and night in her underground lab, trying to understand the alien technology. The energy readings from the artifacts were getting stronger, as if they were responding to the alien presence nearby. I think I'm starting to understand, she told Alex during one of their late-night sessions. This isn't just advanced science, it's a completely different way of looking at energy and matter. Can we use it? Katie asked. Can we build weapons with this? Maybe, Lisa said. But we need more time, a lot more time. Time was something they didn't have. Every day, the alien bombardment continued. They hit military bases, spaceports, and anything that looked like it could be used for defense. But they left the cities alone. They wanted people alive to serve as slaves. In the underground tunnels beneath major cities, secret meetings were taking place. Colonel Sam Davis was organizing resistance groups, preparing for the day when aliens would land on Earth. Agent Rachel Kim was making contact with people in other countries, building a network that could fight back. We can't match their technology, Davis told his team, but we can make them pay for every step they take on our world. Kim had different news to share. Her spy satellites had been watching the alien fleet, and she had noticed something interesting. Not all the alien ships are the same, she said. Some look different, like they belong to other species. I think this confederation isn't as united as they want us to believe. President Carter received reports from around the world. Food was running short because the aliens had destroyed the farming colonies in space. Power was limited because they had bombed the solar collection satellites. Earth was slowly being strangled. But in the deepest bunkers, Dr. Morgan and her team were making progress. They had figured out how to make the alien artifacts respond to human commands. The energy they produced was incredible, enough to power a city or destroy a mountain. We're close to a breakthrough, she reported to the president during a secret video call. But we need to test it, and testing this technology could be very dangerous. Do it, Carter said without hesitation. We're running out of options. The test took place in an underground facility in Nevada. Dr. Morgan and her team had built a small version of the alien energy system. When they turned it on, the power readings went off the charts. It works, Alex said, staring at the numbers on his screen. The energy output is 10 times what we predicted. But the best news came from Katie. She had figured out how to turn the energy into a weapon. We can build guns with this. Big guns. Maybe even shields like the aliens have. For the first time in weeks, there was hope. Above ground, the alien ultimatum arrived. War Master Grexthor's face appeared on every screen on Earth. His yellow eyes stared out at billions of frightened humans. You have seen what happens to those who resist, he said. Your colonies are ash. Your fleets are destroyed. In 7 days you will surrender completely, or we will begin bombing your cities. The choice is yours. President Carter looked around. The Situation Room at her advisors. Some still wanted to surrender. They said it was better to live as slaves than to die as free people. But Carter had already made her decision. "Send a message to Dr. Morgan," she said. "Tell her she has 7 days to give us a miracle." In her underground lab, Lisa Morgan looked at the alien technology surrounding her. 7 days to figure out what had taken an ancient civilization thousands of years to develop. 7 days to save the human race. "We can do this," she told her team. "We have to do this." Outside, the alien fleet waited like vultures circling a dying animal. They thought Earth was finished. They thought humans would break like all the other species they had conquered. They were about to learn how wrong they were. 6 months had passed since the alien blockade began. To anyone watching from space, Earth looked defeated. The aliens had built bases on the moon and destroyed most of the orbital stations. Their ships patrolled the solar system like sharks in bloody water. War Master Grexthor stood on his command ship looking down at the blue planet below. Soon the humans would be working in the mines of distant worlds, digging up precious metals for the Confederation, another species broken and enslaved. "Send the final message," he told his communications officer. 1 week to surrender, or we start bombing their cities. But beneath Earth's surface, things were very different. In hidden tunnels and underground bases, humans had been working day and night. President Carter had authorized something called Operation Phoenix. If Earth was going to burn, it would rise from the ashes stronger than before. Colonel Sam Davis moved through the underground command center beneath the Rocky Mountains. The tunnels stretched for miles, connecting secret bases all across North America. Similar networks existed in Europe, Asia, and Australia. "Status report," he asked Agent Rachel Kim as she worked at her computer station. "All resistance cells are in position," Kim replied. "We have people in every major city all waiting for the signal. The aliens think we've given up, but we've been getting stronger." In the deepest part of the mountain base, Dr. Lisa Morgan put the finishing touches on humanity's secret weapon. The room was filled with strange machinery that hummed with alien energy. After 6 months of work, they had finally cracked the secret of the ancient technology. "The quantum field generator is ready," she told Dr. Alex Turner and Katie Walsh. "We can create an energy shield around the entire planet. Nothing the aliens have can break through it." "What about weapons?" Katie asked. She had been working on that part of the project. "Better than we hoped," Lisa smiled. "The energy cannons we've built can punch through alien shields like they're made of paper. We've hidden them in buildings all over the world. The aliens have no idea they're there." Alex looked worried. "Are we sure this will work? We've only tested small versions." "It has to work," Lisa said, "because this is our only chance." Meanwhile, Captain Ryan Beck was leading a very different kind of mission. He had survived the destruction of Kepler Station and spent months preparing for revenge. His team included pilot Amy Foster and explosives expert Joe Martinez. "The alien base on the moon has weak spots," Beck explained to his strike team. "If we can get inside, we can steal their communication codes and find out what they're planning." The mission was dangerous. The aliens had sensors everywhere around their moon base, but Beck's team had been training for this moment. They used a small stealth ship to land on the dark side of the moon, then traveled underground through lava tubes. "Guards ahead," Amy whispered as they approached the alien base. The alien soldiers were big and scary, but they weren't expecting humans to attack them on the moon. Beck's team moved like shadows, taking out the guards without making a sound. They had learned to fight dirty during the occupation. Inside the alien base, Joe planted explosive charges while Beck and Amy copied files from the alien computers. What they found was shocking. "Look at this," Amy said, pointing at her tablet. "The Confederation isn't as united as they pretend. Half these species were forced to join. They hate the Vorthak as much as we do." "And there's something else," Beck said, reading another file. "There are rebellion movements on dozens of alien worlds. Our fight has inspired others to resist. They escaped from the moon base just as Joe's explosives went off. The aliens thought it was an accident, but now Earth had valuable intelligence about their enemies. Agent Kim used this information to make contact with the alien resistance movements. Through secret transmissions, She learned that many species were ready to fight the Confederation. They just needed someone to show them it was possible. "The galaxy is a powder keg," she reported to President Carter. "The Vorthak have made enemies everywhere. If we can light the fuse, the whole Confederation could fall apart." With 3 days left before the alien deadline, Dr. Morgan's team finished their preparations. Hidden weapons were installed in buildings around the world. The planetary shield generator was ready to activate. All they needed was the order to begin. President Carter stood in the underground command center, surrounded by her military leaders. On the screen, she could see alien ships moving into position to bomb Earth cities. In a few hours, they would start killing millions of innocent people. "Operation Phoenix is ready," Colonel Davis reported. "All teams are in position." "The quantum weapons are powered up," Dr. Morgan added. "We can take them by surprise." Carter looked around the room at the faces of her people. They had worked for months to reach this moment. Everything depended on the next few hours. "What are our chances?" she asked. General Stone was honest. "We don't know. We've never fought with this technology before, but we do know what happens if we don't fight." "Then we fight," Carter said firmly. "Send the activation signal to all teams. Operation Phoenix begins now." Across the planet, resistance fighters received the coded message. In hidden bunkers, weapons powered up. In underground facilities, soldiers prepared for battle. After months of preparation, humanity was about to show the galaxy what they could really do. Dr. Morgan activated the planetary shield generator. An invisible field of energy surrounded Earth, stronger than anything the aliens had ever seen. At the same time, quantum energy cannons emerged from buildings in every major city. The aliens in orbit suddenly found their sensors going crazy. Energy readings were off the charts. Something was happening on Earth, but they couldn't figure out what. "War Master," one of the alien officers said nervously. "We're detecting massive power surges from the planet's surface." Grexthor looked at the readings and snarled. "Impossible. The humans don't have this technology." That was when the first quantum cannon fired. The beam of pure energy shot up from Earth and hit an alien battleship. The ship's shields, which had stopped every human weapon for months, simply disappeared. The beam went through the ship's hull like it was made of thin metal. The battleship exploded in a ball of fire. "Attack!" Grexthor roared. "Destroy the planet now!" But when the alien ships fired back, their weapons hit the planetary shield and bounced off harmlessly. The energy field around Earth absorbed everything they threw at it. More quantum cannons fired from the surface. One by one, alien ships began exploding. The hunters had suddenly become the hunted. On the moon, Beck's team watched the battle from their hidden position. "Look at that," Joe said in amazement. "We're actually winning." In the underground command center, cheers erupted as alien ships disappeared from the screens. For the first time in months, humans were fighting back successfully. Phase 2, President Carter ordered. "Launch the fleet." In hidden asteroid bases beyond Pluto, ships that had been secretly built over the past 6 months suddenly appeared. Admiral Collins led the new human fleet, armed with quantum weapons and energy shields. The ships were faster and more powerful than anything humans had ever built before. The alien fleet found themselves caught between Earth's surface weapons and the attacking human ships. For the first time since the war began, they were outgunned. "This is impossible," Grexthor muttered as his fleet was torn apart around him. Where did they get this technology? He was about to find out that humans were full of surprises. And this was just the beginning. The space around Earth had become a graveyard of alien ships. Admiral Steve Collins watched from the bridge of his flagship as the last of the Confederation blockade fleet tried to escape. His new quantum-powered ships were faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. "Don't let any of them get away," Collins ordered his fleet. "We need to send a message to the galaxy." The human ships moved like lightning through space, their quantum drives allowing them to appear and disappear almost instantly. The aliens had never faced anything like this. Their advanced technology suddenly seemed old and slow. On Earth's surface, the quantum weapons continued firing. Dr. Lisa Morgan watched the energy readings from her underground control room. The planetary shield was working perfectly, protecting Earth while the hidden cannons destroyed any alien ship that came too close. "The field is stable," she reported to President Carter. "We can keep this up for days if we need to." But the real surprise was yet to come. In the asteroid belt, more human ships appeared. These were the secret construction facilities where Earth had been building a new fleet for months. The ships looked nothing like the old human designs. They were sleek and deadly, powered by the quantum technology stolen from the aliens. Captain Ryan Beck led one of the strike teams aboard the flagship Vengeance. His mission was personal. He wanted to capture War Master Grexthor alive, to make him pay for the massacre at Kepler Station. "Target the alien command ship," Beck told his pilot, Amy Foster. "But don't destroy it. I want that lizard alive." The Vengeance moved through the battle like a hunting shark. Alien weapons fired at it but hit the quantum shields and bounced off harmlessly. When the human ship fired back, its energy beams cut through alien armor like a hot knife through butter. On the moon, Colonel Sam Davis led ground forces against the alien base. The resistance fighters moved through the tunnels they had been digging for months, appearing behind enemy lines where the aliens least expected them. "Remember what they did to our people," Davis told his soldiers as they prepared to attack. "No mercy." The quantum weapons made the difference on the ground too. The energy rifles that Katie Walsh had designed could punch through alien battle armor easily. The creatures that had seemed so powerful and scary were suddenly running in fear. Joe Martinez set off explosives throughout the alien base while Beck's team moved toward the command center. The aliens tried to fight back, but their weapons were useless against human quantum shields. "The command center is just ahead," Amy reported as they moved through the smoking corridors of the alien base. They found War Master Grexthor trying to escape in a small ship. Beck's team surrounded him before he could reach the landing bay. The huge alien turned to face them, his yellow eyes full of rage and fear. "Impossible," Grexthor snarled. "Your species is primitive. You cannot have this technology." "Surprise," Beck said, pointing his quantum rifle at the alien's head. "Humans are full of surprises." They dragged the War Master back to Earth as a prisoner. It was the first time in Confederation history that a Vorthak commander had been captured by an enemy. Meanwhile, Agent Rachel Kim was busy with her own mission. The intelligence they had gathered from the alien computers was being used to contact resistance movements across the galaxy. "The word is spreading," she reported to President Carter. "Alien species on dozens of worlds are rising up against the Confederation. They see what we did here and they want to fight too." The rebellion was spreading faster than anyone had expected. On the industrial world of Nexus Prime, the enslaved Kalari people broke their chains and turned their factories into weapons plants. On the mining colonies of the Outer Rim, workers seized alien ships and joined the fight. But the biggest shock came when 3 Confederation member species switched sides completely. The insect-like Zephyrians, the energy beings called the Lumina, and the plant-based Verdani all declared war on the Vorthak Empire. "They're saying they only joined the Confederation because they were forced to," Kim explained. "Now they want to fight alongside humans for freedom." Dr. Morgan received a message that changed everything. The quantum technology they had been using wasn't just advanced science. It was a weapon left behind by an ancient race that had fought the Vorthak thousands of years ago. "The artifacts we found on Kepler weren't random," she told Alex Turner. "They were placed there on purpose, waiting for someone brave enough to use them against the Confederation." "You mean we were meant to find this technology?" Alex asked. "I think so," Lisa replied. "And I think there's more of it out there." President Carter made a decision that would change the galaxy forever. Instead of just defending Earth, humanity would take the fight to the enemy. Operation Phoenix was expanding beyond Earth's solar system. "We're going to liberate every world the Confederation has enslaved," she announced to her military leaders. "We're going to tear their empire apart piece by piece." Admiral Collins led the first strike force to the Vorthak home system. The aliens had never been attacked in their own territory before. They thought their homeworld was safe behind layers of defensive fleets and weapons platforms. They were wrong. The human ships appeared out of quantum space without warning. The Vorthak defensive fleet tried to stop them, but the quantum weapons were too powerful. One by one, the orbital defense platforms exploded. "This is for Kepler Station," Collins said as his ships bombarded the military targets on the WrathHFY homeworld. The psychological effect on the galaxy was enormous. The WrathHFY Empire, which had ruled through fear for centuries, was suddenly being beaten by a species they had considered primitive. If humans could do this, maybe other races could fight back too. Colonel Davis established the Galactic Liberation Command, coordinating freedom fighters across dozens of star systems. Human advisors and weapons were sent to help rebellion movements everywhere. "We're not just fighting for Earth anymore," he told his staff. "We're fighting for every free being in the galaxy." The aliens tried one last desperate move. Deep in Confederation space, they activated their most feared weapons. 3 massive ships, each one capable of destroying entire planets, began moving toward Earth. The planet-killer ships were ancient and terrible. They had been used to destroy worlds that refused to surrender. No species had ever survived an attack from them. But they had never faced humans armed with quantum technology. Dr. Morgan detected the approaching ships while they were still days away from Earth. The energy signatures were unlike anything she had seen before. "They're planet killers," she told President Carter. "If they reach Earth, they can crack the planet in half." "Then we stop them before they get here," Carter replied. "Admiral Collins, you have a new mission." The final battle was about to begin, but this time, the aliens would learn what happened when you made humanity truly angry. They had started this war by massacring innocent people. Now they would face the full wrath of an awakened human race. The galaxy was about to see just how dangerous humans could be when they stopped holding back. Admiral Steve Collins stood on the bridge of the human flagship Vengeance as it moved through space toward the approaching planet-killer ships. Behind him, the most powerful fleet humanity had ever assembled followed in perfect formation. Every ship was armed with quantum weapons that could tear apart alien vessels like paper. 3 planet killers confirmed, reported his tactical officer. "They're bigger than our largest space stations. Each one could destroy Earth with a single shot." "Then, we make sure they never get the chance," Collins replied. "All ships attack formation. Today we end this war." Dr. Lisa Morgan was aboard the Vengeance, monitoring the quantum field generators that protected the human fleet. The technology that had saved Earth was now traveling to the stars, ready to face the Confederation's most feared weapons. "The planet killers are old," she told Collins. "Maybe thousands of years old, but they're still incredibly dangerous. Age doesn't matter if they can't hit us," Collins said with a grim smile. The battle began when the 2 fleets met in the empty space between star systems. The planet killers opened fire first, sending beams of pure destruction toward the human ships. The energy was enough to boil oceans and crack continents, but the quantum shields held. The terrible weapons that had destroyed countless worlds struck the human fleet and simply bounced off. For the first time in their ancient history, the planet killers had met something they couldn't destroy. "Return fire," Collins ordered. The human quantum cannons spoke with voices of thunder. Beams of energy that bent space and time itself reached out and struck the massive alien ships. The planet killers' shields, which had protected them for thousands of years, collapsed under the assault. "Impossible," whispered the WrathHFY commander aboard the lead planet killer. "Nothing can penetrate our defenses." But humanity's quantum technology was beyond anything the aliens understood. It didn't just use energy. It controlled the basic forces that held the universe together. Against such power, even the mighty planet killers were helpless. One by one, the ancient ships began to break apart. The weapons that had terrorized the galaxy for centuries were being destroyed by a species the Confederation had tried to enslave. Captain Ryan Beck led boarding parties onto the dying planet killers, searching for survivors and intelligence. What they found shocked even him. "Admiral, you need to see this," he reported from inside one of the massive ships. "These aren't just weapons, they're prisons. There are thousands of aliens locked up in here. The planet killers weren't just tools of destruction. They were mobile concentration camps filled with members of species that had refused to surrender to the Confederation. Some had been imprisoned for hundreds of years. "Free them all," Collins ordered. Anyone who wants to fight the Confederation is welcome to join us. The psychological impact of destroying the planet killers rippled across the galaxy. These were the weapons that had kept entire star systems in line through fear. If humans could destroy them, then the Confederation was not invincible. Rebellions exploded on every world the aliens controlled. Species that had been enslaved for centuries suddenly remembered what freedom felt like. And at the center of it all, human ships appeared like avenging angels, bringing quantum weapons and tactical support to anyone willing to fight. Colonel Sam Davis found himself commanding liberation forces across dozens of star systems. The Galactic Liberation Command had grown from a small resistance movement into a galaxy-spanning military organization. Status report from the Outer Rim, Agent Rachel Kim told him during one of their regular briefings. 17 more systems have declared independence from the Confederation. The WrathHFY Empire is collapsing. But the aliens weren't finished yet. In their desperation, they gathered every remaining ship for one final assault on Earth. If they could destroy humanity's homeworld, maybe they could still win the war. The last Confederation fleet was massive, hundreds of ships from dozens of alien species, all united in their hatred of the humans who had destroyed their empire. They came out of hyperspace near Earth's moon, ready to die fighting. What they found waiting for them was beyond their worst nightmares. Earth was no longer alone. Ships from liberated worlds filled the space around humanity's homeworld. The insect-like Zephyrians flew alongside human quantum fighters. Energy beings called the Lumina merged with human weapon systems. To increase their power, plant-based Verdani ships provided healing support for damaged vessels. President Helen Carter stood in the command center on Earth, watching the final battle unfold on her screens. Beside her, War Master Grexthor sat in chains, forced to watch his empire's destruction. "This is what happens when you underestimate humanity," she told the captured alien. "We don't just fight for ourselves, we fight for everyone who wants to be free." The battle was fierce but short. The quantum weapons had given humanity and their allies an overwhelming advantage. The Confederation fleet was destroyed so completely that few aliens survived to tell the tale. As the last enemy ship exploded, cheers erupted across the galaxy. On 1,000 worlds, beings who had lived under alien tyranny for centuries finally tasted freedom. Admiral Collins received the surrender of the remaining Confederation forces 3 days later. The WrathHFY Empire, which had ruled the galaxy for millennia, was finished. In its place, a new organization was forming. The Terran Federation was born from the ashes of the old empire. Earth became the capital, but every species that had fought for freedom had a voice in the government. The quantum technology that had won the war was shared freely, lifting entire civilizations into a new golden age. Dr. Morgan established research stations throughout the galaxy, searching for more artifacts left by the ancient race that had first developed quantum technology. Each discovery brought new wonders and possibilities. "We're not just explorers anymore," she told President Carter during a ceremony marking the first anniversary of Earth's liberation. "We're the guardians of galactic freedom." Captain Beck, now an admiral himself, led expeditions to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. Wherever they found oppression or slavery, human ships appeared to offer hope and assistance. 6 months after the war ended, President Carter gave a speech that was broadcast to every world in the new Federation. She stood before representatives from hundreds of species, all united under the banner of freedom. "The galaxy tried to make us slaves," she said. "Instead, we became its liberators. Let this be a lesson to any who would repeat the mistakes of the Confederation. Humanity does not start fights, but we will always finish them." In the audience, beings from across the galaxy listened and understood. The humans had shown them something they had forgotten. That freedom was worth fighting for. That no tyrant, no matter how powerful, could stand against people who refused to bow. The speech ended with words that would echo through history. "We did not seek this war, but we fought it with everything we had. The galaxy has learned what happens when humanity's wrath is unleashed. Let that memory serve as a warning to any who would threaten the innocent." On a research station orbiting the world where Kepler Station once stood, Dr. Morgan looked out at the stars. Human and alien ships worked together, exploring the mysteries of the universe in peace. The massacre that had started the war was avenged, but more importantly, it had led to something beautiful. The galaxy was free, and humanity had learned that their greatest strength was not their weapons or their technology. It was their refusal to give up, no matter how hopeless things seemed. In the depths of space, new worlds were being discovered every day. New species were making contact with the Federation. And at the center of it all, Earth shined like a beacon of hope for anyone who dreamed of freedom. The galaxy had indeed learned to fear humanity's wrath. But they had also learned to love humanity's compassion. And that made all the difference in the universe.